Hi friends, I'm Scott Giles, minister and hypnotist, and welcome to PowerTalk, my video blog where I cover topics that interest me, but always focusing on how you can use the power of your mind to take control of your life. If you want to know more about my professional work or sign up for my Substack newsletter, Powerlines, check out my website, which I'll tag in the description. If there is something in your life that you feel is out of control, using hypnosis can turn that around. Well, today I want to talk about a way to make work more enjoyable. All of us have to do chores or work that we, find dreary. As I married a handicapped woman, I probably have more of that sort of thing than most guys, as the vast majority of housework falls to me, and I'm not complaining. I understood from the get-go that this would be the case, and Lindsay is appreciative and shows me that. On the other hand, I'm not alone in this. All of us have to do things we don't enjoy in order to make a living, to keep up with our responsibilities, and make our way in the world. Is there a way to make that less of a hassle? There is. Brain scientists call it dopamine anchoring. Basically, you take the task you don't enjoy doing and somehow pair it with something else that you do enjoy, that you can do at the same time or just after. For example, when I'm dusting, vacuuming, or mopping, I'm typically listening to a playlist of my favorite music. I even sometimes, kind of do a little dance as I work to the beat of the music. It makes the time pass and the chores less of a chore. When we do something we enjoy, our brain releases a hormone called dopamine. When we've got that hormone working, we feel pleasure, or at least we feel positive. Now, people have known this for centuries. Heck, every parent knows it and uses it to keep the kids in line. What's that song from the musical Mary Poppins? Just a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down? Well, it does. The sugar tastes good. It's a treat. And so the child doesn't fight the medicine because the child knows there's a reward coming. Now, dopamine is one of the key neurotransmitter hormones. Without it, you would feel no pleasure, no happiness, or no satisfaction. But the goal isn't just to maximize dopamine production. That's what people do who become addicted to substances because the substance boosts dopamine. But as time management guru David Allen says, your brain does not have a brain. You have to be smarter than your brain. And what that means in this context is that an intelligent and philosophical person understands the dopamine reaction. And instead of letting it just happen randomly or haphazardly, the bright person uses it to make their life easier. How you do this is to think and plan. You know you have to do a task or a chore and it won't be enjoyable in and of itself. But you know you need to put in the effort and you know you need to do a good job. So at the same time as you're planning the work, you also pair it with something that you can look forward to, or even something positive you can do at the same time, like my playlist. The positive stimulus doesn't have to be precisely at the same time as the task itself. Part of the fun of any reward is looking forward to it. A psychologist I know put it this way: the dopamine rush is more about wanting than experiencing. If you know a reward is coming once something is completed, you will not find it as hard to do. But here's the thing, and here's the mistake I see too many people make. You actually do have to give yourself the reward. And it's so easy to mess that up. I was much less productive than I am now because it took me a while to understand this. I'd say something like, as soon as I do the dishes and clean the pots and pans, I'm going to sit down and read a chapter of my trashy novel, for example. And that would help. But then when the pots and pans were clean, I'd feel guilty about wanting to veg out on the couch with a book, collecting my reward. There's so much else that had to be done, so I tell myself, well, instead of reading the trashy novel, I'll go on to the next task, and then I'll take a break. Except that I wouldn't take the break. And what happens if you delay the reward, or basically don't even give yourself the reward, is that the mind learns. And instead of creating a dopamine anchor to the task, you're training your mind that you're a liar because the rewards never arrive. And after a short while, your dopamine production will vanish, as your brain will no longer be fooled by the broken promise you made to it. That deprived me of a useful tool because I could no longer leverage my brain chemistry to maximize my productivity. So I started doing what I promised myself. When the dishes were done, I'd look forward to a half hour of reading. When the house was spick and span, I could really look forward to pouring myself a glass of wine or make a pot of some of the ridiculously expensive coffee I keep on hand for special occasions. This is dopamine anchoring, and my resistance to getting things done vanished when I began to use it intentionally. Not only was I happier, I actually became more productive because my mental state was positive and no resentments held me back. Now, to do proper dopamine anchoring, you not only pair a task with something rewarding, you actually have to collect that reward. The failure to do that quickly prevents this technique from working, and you'll pay a price. Now, as with any effective technique, there's a downside. One should do dopamine anchoring intentionally and selectively. If you try to set up rewards for yourself when the task you have to do isn't something that you resist, all you do is train your brain to expect a steady flow of stimulation, and that will not serve you well. If you do that sort of thing, you can end up with an impulse control problem. But used well, dopamine anchoring is a powerful brain hack that you can use to take control of your life through the power of your mind. Hey, thank you for your time and attention today. I'll be back next week with another talk on a different subject, and I'd like to invite you to join me. If you're watching this on my YouTube channel, it helps me a lot if you tell others about my videos, so please like, share, and subscribe, and hit the notification bell. You're welcome to subscribe to my Substack using the buttons you'll find on this post or on my website. And if you're wondering if I can be of help to you, consider working directly with me. Feel free to reach out through my website for a complimentary, no-obligation discovery call, and we'll talk about it. Have a great week.